When it comes to metal polishing, there's all different types of issues to address. There's tarnish, rust, there's oxidation, and there's something for every one of these in the Flitz line. And with me today, I have Olie from Flitz. How you doing, Olie?
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for inviting me here.
Hey, and one of the things we're going to do is we're going to kind of walk through this Harley-Davidson over here and take a look at and see if there's anything that Flitz has to address some of the issues that we can see on it.
Fair enough. First of all, let's go walk in front here, because when I came into the studio here today, I right away noticed a rust.
Yes.
Now, of course, that's pitted, and let's face it, you know, we have good products, but you can't take away things that's pitted and corroded.
And this is real common on Harleys too, especially in a coastal environment like we are here in Stuart, Florida.
Exactly. Salt water, you know, it's always going to happen.
Yep.
So what I want to demonstrate is how we can take off the heavy rust and then polish it and protect it at least for a period of 2 to 3 months.
Sure.
So the pitting will still be there. You'll see little pimples. And what I'm going to start with first, what I brought along today is a product called calcium lime rust remover. Now basically this chemical is very similar to like an acid.
Okay.
And I always tell people this is a great product, but like anything else, you gotta read instructions and you need to rinse it when you're done. Now this chemical, when you spray it on, is safe on paint, safe on fiberglass, safe on decals, everything like this. The only thing is when you're done, we're gonna rinse it. That's all, that's the only difference. As soon as water hits it, it'll stop working. The reason I sprayed on you earlier is starting to dissolve the rust right now. Now there's 2 things you can use. You can use your fingers, because it is chemically actually safe, and you can see how the rust is starting to break down just from my hands.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do is use either an abrasive pad, like a white Scotch-Brite type pad, or this is one of your Merca pads that you guys sell as an ultra-fine abrasive. And what this does, this helps knock off a lot of the pitting and corrosion.
The kind of that rust slag that starts to build up there.
Exactly. And you can see it here. I'm going to get one extra shot. And you can actually see the rust right in this piece over here. So as I spray this on, this is very effective on taking off the real nasty stuff. And that's why you want to use something like this first. Now as I'm doing this, and I'm getting the pitting, you're still going to see the pimple, but you're going to see all the rust disappear.
Yeah, and one thing I know is by fixing this, it's going to look better, but like you said, you know, we're not going to fix the underlying problem, which is the rust, but at the same time, most guys don't have the ability to remove the part and chrome it themselves, so this is something they can do.
Exactly, and it's a good fix. Now once I've done this, let me take some water here. Now we're going to rinse it down really good. And that, of course, takes off all that chemical.
That looks much better already.
It does. Some people, in fact, they just use the cleaner and that's about it. But you really do want to polish it for several reasons. Number one, to protect it. But then also you still want a little better finish, as you can still see some rust inside here.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the Flitz polish. Now people always ask me, you know, how abrasive is this? Does it scratch? Well, I said, well, you know, Flitz is safe enough, number one, you can physically eat it. It actually has a USDA authorization. I don't recommend eating it. It doesn't taste good. Your hair turns gray like mine. But in all seriousness, it's a very safe product.
It's very non-toxic, and I mean, if you can eat it, that's safe.
Yeah. And so when you put on chrome, you put on aluminum, you put on stainless steel, fiberglass like this, you can use a lot of different finishes. Now I'm going to take either a cloth or a paper toweling. But as you know, you sell the Flitz buff balls for many, many years.
Yeah.
And Flitz was the originator in the buff ball industry because we've been copied by several companies that make these out of foam. But this is made of viscose felt. This is actually imported.
It's real tough.
Right. This is to DuPont, Germany. This product is washable. When you run it like this, if you notice these little spindles, it works just like a sleeve, so you can get into very narrow areas, and wheels and different things like this. And the front here will actually shrink down to 1 inch in size. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the buff ball in here. And this is actually doing the work for me. Oops. Put the best thing, we put the battery on tight. And when I'm doing this, you can really see how the chrome pops up that way again.
Yeah, it's starting to look like a mirror again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you're all finished with that, you can simply take a microfiber and give it the extra little polish, and you're finished. Now we guarantee that as a manufacturer between 2 and 3 months from rusting again. So I'm not saying the pitting is gone, but at least you have all the surface rust off.
You did everything you can do.
Exactly.
Without replating.
Without replating, exactly.
So if a guy wanted to spruce up his bike for a cruise, or say wanted to resell it or trade it in, this would be a great way to address that, and it instantly makes it look a lot better.
100% right. Now this bike, I don't know exactly the age, but there's a few little different issues with it. I noticed here a little bit on the fairing, we had an area over here on fiberglass. And I know people always ask again, how abrasive is Flitz?
Yeah.
I said, well, really all polishes have to be abrasive, otherwise it wouldn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
And we fall below a government standard, that's why it's classified non-abrasive, but literally it is abrasive. There's actually a 4,000 grit in this product. And I'm going to take a very soft cloth here, and I'm just taking on this saddlebag just to show you how you can take all those stains, any kind of little scuff marks. You know, you and I, when we grew up with rubbing compound. But compound, of course, is more abrasive. This is not.
Yeah.
And what you're doing here, you're removing the oxidation, chalking, pitting, and help bring it out to a beautiful finish very quickly. Now you can do this on fiberglass, you can use it on plastics, you can use it on paint, especially when you have little scuff marks from jewelry, door handles, and things like that.
Yeah.
When you're all done with that, you have two choices. You can either use a wax of any sort. You know, you guys at Autogeek sell plenty of waxes.
Yeah.
And Flitz makes waxes too. But what's happened is the industry's changed.
Yes.
And I always call it like this, I grew up with wax, but what they call nanotechnology, ceramic coatings is the hottest thing going now.
It sure is.
And this is a product called sealant. Now, sealant is a diluted form of ceramic coating, but I call layman's version. What we've done versus having the ceramic coatings in glass vials about this high,
Yeah.
a little glass vial of ceramic coating is like $100.
Yeah.
When you get it put on at a car dealership, you're looking over $1,000 in cost.
Yep. Average.
Right. So this product here is a diluted version of that, so the average consumer can use it. It's very simple. You simply spray it on, as I'm doing over here. It looks just like water. Once you spray that on, you basically take a microfiber and buff it. Now, in our instructions, we explain to folks, once you use this product, you should let it stay dry, if possible, for 48 hours. Because when you let it stay dry, it actually will coat and it sort of crystallizes. And in 48 hours from now, it really grabs on that fiberglass or plexiglass, whatever you're using. The protective coating is so good, well, you can feel like this, but more importantly, when you put it on, you'll get 1 year as far as protective on it.
Yeah, well, that's really good protection, because the wax typically won't last that long, especially, you know, in a high wear area like this.
You know, we've done some testing, even especially on black, especially here in Florida. When a black paint, how hot does it get? 140, 150 degrees?
160, 165, easy in the sun.
Wax will melt at that.
Yeah.
So no matter how good of a wax is, especially even like a Carnauba, which is a great wax, it will melt at that time. And that's why these new synthetic coatings really are the bomb.
Yeah, they're a lot more durable. There's actually all kinds of really nice features about them. The self-cleaning effect, the hydrophobic surface they create, so they wash faster, dry faster. But mostly it's they last longer on the surface, and how I explain that to people is if it's there, it's protecting.
Okay.
If it's gone, it can't protect. So longer lasting does mean longer protecting.
Exactly. You know, and the tests that we've done, we explain to folks it's good for 1 year, but if you're going through a car wash every week,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get a year. You'll 7 to 8 months is what you can realistically expect.
I'd like to see a guy take this through the car wash.
Yeah, this one goes through a car wash.
For more videos like these and how-tos, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That does look nice. One thing I noticed is how slippery that feels now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it brought the metallic flake too. It looks pretty.
It does.
At least that side of it does.
There you go.